Black Women Rising. I want to give kudos and thanks to Morgan Dixon and Vanessa Garrison, the co-founders of GirlTrek. Now, GirlTrek is the largest health movement for Black women in the U.S. and beyond. GirlTrek is based on Black women walking, making changes and improving their health by walking 30 minutes each day, connecting and supporting other Black women in their efforts, becoming change makers in their lives and in their communities. Now, Morgan tells her own personal story of healing. She stated that she suffered from depression. She says it's quote unquote, quote, the kind of depression that you don't know you have, end quote. So what kind of depression is that? She stated that her depression made her harder, meaner than she should have been, made her work too hard and shy away from friendships and intimacy. Now, technically, that's not the medical definition for depression, and I hope to continue that discussion with a psychiatrist in the near future. But for now, let's accept this on face value and evidence of her depression. Morgan goes on to say that her depression was never addressed and that it was sometimes celebrated and seen as independence and success. But she says that her depression was based on a very deep emotional pain. She postulates that many other Black women suffer similarly. And she states that it was the walking that helped her heal. Specifically, she said that she started walking, and when she started to walk, she began to relax. And as she began to relax, she started to get clarity about her own life. And then she started walking with her friend, Vanessa. And they both noted that the walking helped, and they decided that they wanted to bring this solution to other Black women, to help other Black women deal with their own pain. For too often, they postulated that Black women, too many Black women, carry this deep emotional pain, and that we medicate ourselves or we dull the pain with work, with success, alcohol, food, sex, and sometimes church. Do you agree? So walking helped Vanessa, walking helped Morgan, and they decided that they wanted to bring this idea to other Black women. And that was the impetus behind GirlTrek. And today, GirlTrek has over 100,000 Black women who have signed on and joined the movement. So how did they do it? How did these two women, Morgan and Vanessa, take a good idea and make it real? In their TED Talks and other interviews, they shared that they studied other social movements. They took their idea, they studied, they looked at other models of change, they determined their value of proposition, they looked at the best practices, but they lacked money. And they lacked the strategies and the logistics of how to make it happen. Eventually, they pitched their idea and received a fellowship from Echoing Green. Now, if you're like me, you may not have heard of Echoing Green. Echoing Green is an organization in New York City which provides seed money, strategic and logistical support to social entrepreneurs, and they've been doing this for the past 30 years. Their goal continues to be to discover social entrepreneurs, those that have an idea that can benefit society and have the ability to scale this idea for maximal impact. Vanessa and Morgan tried twice before they received fellowship with Echoing Green. And today, GirlTrek is the largest health movement for Black women in the United States. The only thing that makes this story sweeter is knowing that the president of Echoing Green is a Black woman. We're everywhere. We're doing all kinds of things, and we're amazing. The president of Echoing Green is Dr. Cheryl Dorsey, a Harvard-educated pediatrician. Now, this is not to imply that Morgan and Vanessa got the fellowship because they were Black. No, they earned it, evident by the fact that with their first attempt they were rejected. But having a Black woman there, having Dr. Cheryl Dorsey there, a woman who could understand and appreciate their efforts, was beneficial. Because there is an acknowledgement that there is a barrier to capital funding there are barriers to capital and racial equity in philanthropy. Echoing Green understands that while talent may be equally distributed, opportunity is not. Dr. Dorsey and others are actively working to overcome the racial biases in philanthropic funding. And so we are very happy to have a Dr. Cheryl Dorsey in a position to help. We are very happy to have Morgan Dixon and Vanessa Garrison. We are happy that GirlTrek exists. Here for Black women to heal, to take control of their lives and their communities. And knowing that these two women are evidence that we have the ability to change our circumstances. We can become change agents. And when we do, we become yet another example of Black women rising. And here's to Black women rising. P.S. Don't forget to check out GirlTrek founders Morgan and Vanessa having online conversations with legendary Black women as never heard before. Peace. Take care, everyone.